Mark Zuckerberg is one of the wealthiest people in the world. He mostly keeps a low profile and doesn't show off, but he has splurged tons of money too. Hello everyone and welcome to our channel. Today we'll tell you about Mark Zuckerberg's luxurious lifestyle. So without further ado, let's begin. You might be surprised to find out that Zuckerberg, who is 39 years old and worth $1 billion, lives a very luxurious life, even though he doesn't wear fancy watches and likes to wear plain gray t-shirts. You might like to think that Zuckerberg doesn't care about grandeur because he doesn't wear fancy watches, as has been said. TechCrunch says that he owns properties worth $320 million and that he bought a boat called Ulysses for $150 million. The $186 million he spent on land in Hawaii gives you a good idea of how rich he is. Forbes says that Mark Zuckerberg spent a whopping $116 million in 2014 to buy 286 hectares or 707 acres of land on the Hawaiian island of Kauai. Because the land in question includes most of Pila'a Beach and Kauaina Plantation, people who don't like him have said that he's trying to colonize the island and doesn't care about its past. SF Gates says that in March 2021, Mark Zuckerberg paid about $53 million for about 600 acres or 245 hectares of land on Kauai's North Shore. The area, which is a public beach and a working cow ranch, was meant to be an extension of his luxury home, which was called Ko'olau Ranch. The Guardian says that he bought 45 hectares of farmland, which is the same as 110 acres, 6 months later for $17 million. It includes the Ka Loko Reservoir, which is still on the list of dams on the island that are thought to be very dangerous. In addition, the New York Post says that Zuckerberg lives with his family in Palo Alto, California, in a beautiful home that he bought in 2011 for $7 million US. The mansion has 5 bedrooms, a large yard, a saltwater pool, an entertainment pavilion, a fireplace, a barbecue area, and a spa. Also, there's a robot maid that can make toast and change the temperature of the room. When you add up the cost of the improvements and the purchase of 4 nearby homes which are used by the famous family as guest houses and places to relax, he spent more than $50 million US. The Wall Street Journal says that a few years later, Zuckerberg bought 2 homes on Lake Tahoe, California for a total of $59 million. He did this without anyone knowing. The Carousel House was built in the early 1930s. It has 8 bedrooms, a 2-car garage, a guest house, and an unusual pier in the style of a marina that can hold a big yacht. The land on the lake is 60 meters or 200 feet long. The Brushwood Estate was built in the 1960s. Along with its 6 bedrooms, it has a private pier, gardens, a guest house, and a garage. The land on the lake is 120 meters or 400 feet long. The Wall Street Journal says that Mark Zuckerberg has 2 very nice holiday homes on a piece of land that's about 4 hectares or 10 acres in size. One of the richest and most powerful people in the computer business needs a lot more money than his peers do to keep him safe. Bloomberg says that the company used to be called Facebook, now called Meta Platforms, spent more than $15 million in 2021 to protect its CEO while he was at home and on the road. This ridiculously high cost for Zuckerberg's security doesn't include the $10 million he was given before taxes to protect his family, nor does it include the more than $1.6 million he spent on private planes for his own use. You might be surprised to learn that the CEO of Meta likes to drive expensive luxury and sports cars, even though he's often seen driving low-key cars like the Honda Fit and Acura TSX. His most valuable thing is a 2-seater car called the Pagani Huayra. It costs $1.4 million, has doors that look like butterfly wings, and has a stylish appearance. It works about as well as a Lamborghini or a Ferrari. The beast of a car has a special twin-turbo V12 engine that lets it make an amazing 800 horsepower at 5,900 RPM and 1,050 Newton-meters of torque from 2,000 to 5,600 RPM. Mark Zuckerberg doesn't wear fancy clothes like a lot of the other important people in Silicon Valley. Instead, he wears jeans, t-shirts, and sweaters that keep things easy. But there are rumors that they're much more expensive than they look, with retail prices running from hundreds to even thousands of dollars. In fact, it seems like his top goal is to give away his money instead of spending it. He joined Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and more than 200 other millionaires and billionaires who've promised to give most of their money to charity. He plans to sell 99% of his Facebook shares over the course of his life. In September 2017, Zuckerberg said he wanted to sell between 35 million and 75 million shares over the next 18 months to raise between $6 billion and $12 billion for the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative. Zuckerberg and his wife started the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative in 2015 as a way to help people. Personalized learning, curing diseases, connecting people, and building strong communities are some of its main goals. In its past, CZI has given out grants that add up to close to $3 billion. For example, the group gave $4.2 million to a job scheme for the people of Kauai in 2020 and promised to give $1 million to help the area fight the coronavirus. Both of these plans were made and put into action in the same year. In the past year, CZI has given millions of dollars to reforming the criminal justice system and building affordable homes, among other things. Both Zuckerberg and Chen have given billions of dollars to medical study with the goal of curing all diseases by the turn of the next century. In order to reach this lofty goal, CZI started a nonprofit called BioHub. Its goal is to start research on possible treatments for many diseases, such as research on genomes, infectious diseases, and devices that can be implanted. In an interview with The New Yorker in 2018, he said, "By then, we'll have been able to deal with or cure all of the major things that cause people to suffer and die today. From what we know so far, it looks like there's a good chance." In August of 2020, Instagram added a new feature that was meant to compete with TikTok. This caused the share price of the company and Mark Zuckerberg's net worth to hit all-time highs. Because of this choice, Zuckerberg is now one of the top 10 centibillionaires in the world, and for the first time, his net worth has gone over $100 billion. Since then, his income has gone up and down. In February, the CEO had a total net worth of about $67.2 billion. Forbes says that in June, his net worth went over $100 billion. This was the first time since February 2022 that it had been back at that level after a short drop. The Bloomberg Billionaire Index says that Mark Zuckerberg's income has more than doubled since the beginning of this year, when it was around $125 billion and dropped to about $35 billion in November. This happened after his income took a hit in November and dropped to about $35 billion. Mark Zuckerberg's wealth, on the other hand, hit its lowest point last fall. Since then, it's climbed more than 3 times to around $113 billion. This means that Zuckerberg is in the top 1% of all people in the world. The 165% rise in the price of Meta stock over the course of the year was one of the biggest things to happen to people's net worth this year. Zuckerberg's wealth went up by about $70 billion because of this. Even so, the growth so far this year is still a lot less than the $100 billion increase in wealth that tech CEO Elon Musk has had during the same period. For the future, the company wants to change its internal culture in part by talking more about things like its investment in artificial intelligence and other things that might happen in the future. For instance, the company spent more money on AI technology than on Reality Labs, which is in charge of, among other things, the company's metaverse bet. It's likely that we'll see Zuckerberg getting more and more rich and keep on maintaining his rich lifestyle. That's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. Leave a like and comment down your thoughts on this, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Thank you for watching.